Correct.
So right now I have Vlad with me. Go ahead and tell us how to pronounce your last name, Vlad, instead of me butchering it.
It's Vlad Mkrtumyan, yeah.
Perfect. Love the last name. Great. So, and then please tell us about who you are and what it is that Logic Inbound is.
Thank you. And that's an Armenian last name, by the way. It's not an easy one. Logic Inbound is my third company. We are a search engine optimization agency. That's what we specialize in. And overall, we're a marketing agency. We've done more than that, but Google search is where we specialize.
Okay.
We built custom tools around it. And basically, me and my cousin, first we did apps together. And my story goes like I kind of failed forward profitably every time. So we did apps together first when I was like 18 or 17 years old. And I barged into my cousin's room and I'm like, there's no Bruce Lee quotes on the Android App Store. And he's like, oh, well, I can make that because he built another app for me and him when we were flipping garage sale books and stuff like that. Okay. So we'd always do these little hustles. So okay, let's build this app. So in 2 weeks, we get 1,000 downloads. And I'm like, wow, we could actually get something here. So I was like, let's do 30 of these. So basically in 2 years, we get about 300,000 downloads. And I'm like, I want to be a tech entrepreneur. I think I know what to do, right when I'm about to graduate college. And then after that, we're making like a couple thousand. And I was thinking Schmuckerberg, business is easy, cocky 21-year-old. And then I realized that I need to make more, figure out how to make money from these businesses and not just downloads. And so then my second company, I started a CRM called SkyReal, and we helped the real estate brokers get more agents. So it was a business-to-business company, a B2B versus like a consumer company, a B2C, an app company. I was thinking I'll have better luck there. Okay. So basically we did that, that company did about 5 to 10K a month. And finally my first goal, in business was to actually be able to make money for myself with my own kind of projects and crazy technologies and whatnot. And that was going, but still the theme is that it wasn't growing fast enough. Right. And I wasn't happy about that. So I was like, I need to learn how to get traction, how to get more clients. And that's why I was like, I have people asking me for consulting and all that. I'm just going to start consulting. And then we ended up starting Logic Inbound. We merged with a person who already did this Google search stuff for like 7 years. His name is Tyler Bennett. Ended up buying him out, brought another partner on, bought them out. Then I brought my third partner on, 6 years later, or actually, no, we're about 5 years old, 4 years, 10 months today. Okay. And basically we have a team of 10. And here I am today. We have custom tools and all that. That's me.
It has been a journey. And I like that you mentioned that sometimes, like you said, it was definitely failing, but falling forward.
Yeah. Try to make real money. Failing. Yeah.
Perfect. And so what made you kind of focus specifically, like you said, kind of on like the search engine, the Google search? What was kind of the decision behind that?
That's a really great question. And I wish I had like this genius answer for you. But basically our first year, right, as a business, we wanted to do anything and everything. We'd wash your car, shine your shoes, make money. And then basically we saw that with Tyler, when we referred him a client, we saw he did great work and it provided great results. So I was like, wow, I actually want to do marketing that actually makes a difference for people. There's a lot of agencies that will kind of just, throw stuff everywhere and just do like theoretical campaigns. But now, we took some of his case studies and, we have our own case studies now. So when we're doing a campaign, we've had results and success before. So I can attribute your return on your investment and stuff like that when you're, getting Google organic traffic. And that's why we went the SEO route. Also here in Seattle, there's big companies like Moz. They rank number 1 for the word SEO as of today, as of the 11th of 2021. Okay. Basically, if you type in the word SEO, they're number 1, right? And then Neil Patel was here, and these are the big people in my space in Google search and SEO. That all started in Seattle. So I was thinking, we're in Seattle. We merged with Tyler, so I'm kind of, this is a clear path. History, I think that is very, as they say, revisionistic. So I'm giving you logical reasons. Probably if you talk to, 25-year-old, 24-year-old Vlad, he'd probably give you a lot more like, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. We've got people in. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad there's an evolution, not only for your business, but for you personally as well.
Yeah.
And so like you kind of mentioned being in Seattle, it seems like you kind of have a lot of people who have set a path in this industry. How do you create fresh opportunities to best serve your customers?
That's a fantastic question. There's definitely a very competitive space in SEO, right? Like Neil Patel has software and Moz has their own software. And so for us, I actually got Rand's brother, Evan Fishkin. He's actually our newest partner on the company, and he's been a partner for 1+ years and it's turned out much better. I've learned with every new partner we brought on. And so he's been doing SEO for 16 plus years. So in terms of a competitive, I actually went opposite of what I did with my first two companies. The first companies, I was trying to be the new kid on the block and, just kind of explore new opportunities. With this one, we went into a very competitive space, right? A marketing agency. So really what I want to do is I said, hey, I just don't want a job at Microsoft and like to get my soul sucked away. That was my fear. And I love entrepreneurship, right? I'm actually thinking of, even potentially starting another company in the future. But basically what I ended up doing is I said, if I get a really good marketing agency, that'll afford me enough money and time to actually do future ventures. So that's why I went down this route. And I really love competitive industries like real estate, whatever, because that's where money is already. You just have to figure out how to become 10x better. And for us, how are we 10x better? I guess I'm giving you a really long answer.
No, it's fine. It's leading to my next question, so it's okay.
Yeah. So how are we 10x better? We built our own custom software tools. We have 10 plus, collectively 40 plus years of experience in the industry. And then, we look at our company's dollar as if it's our own dollar. In fact, sometimes we even partner and do like different barters. In fact, I'm thinking about even getting equity for my marketing. So it's literally my dollars that I'm spending. So that's how we differentiate in some of these cases.
Okay. And so you mentioned about entrepreneurship. Obviously, that's something you're passionate about and everything, but it seems like you've also done a lot. You've worked in a lot of different industries. You have a little bit of everything. What are you most passionate about outside of entrepreneurship? Like, what is it that, this is maybe it, or what is it that kind of drives you every day?
That's a really great question, because I feel like I'm kind of like you see what you get, and there's no questions, you should be afraid to ask me. Like, I'm a really open book, but business really kind of runs my life, because I personally feel business makes the world spin, so a lot of it just, sometimes it really isolates me in my social circle. I don't have too many friends or anything. I'm like focused on the business. But besides that, for hobbies, like I ran a marathon just to kind of prove to myself that I was awesome. It was really an ego thing, right? I thought of myself, like, what do I need to do to prove myself I'm awesome? I'm going to run a marathon. I'm going to do these things. So I did that. And I'm really interested in psychology. I got a bachelor's in psychology. So I'm actually right now, what I'm really interested in is I listen to a book a week on Audible and take notes. And also I actually am interested in building a new habit every 66 days. And I'll build these really weird habits up. Like, when I, the first thing I do when I wake up every morning now is like, I'll stand on one leg while I'm brushing my teeth to work on my core stability. And, but then in my right hand, while I'm brushing my teeth, I'm left-handed, I'll have a book and I'll be going through the book while I'm brushing my teeth. And then, the little toothbrush will beep and I'll switch around. So yeah, those are like my little quirky habits. But business is probably, it's like, there's something called Pareto's law, which is like 80%, 80-20 rule. 80% of your results come from 20% of your actions, and vice versa. I would say 80% of my time is spent in business.
Yeah. It seems like you're still balanced, though. I mean, you seem like a happy person. You don't seem drained or anything. So at least you're passionate about what you're doing.
I appreciate that. I think everybody's human. I don't think anyone's infallible. One of my habits I built was meditation. And there's really good, work-life balance is key for me. I think for a lot of people, when I say balance, it's different than most, right? Because for me, I'll work on the weekends too. But for me, it's like if I'm tired, I'll take a nap or I'll meditate or I'll like read some kind of poem or something to if my spirit, spirit is down or whatever. Yeah.
So how do you pick these habits? I'm curious. Like, is it you find in a book or Google? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, because one of my friends was talking to me. He's like, what happens if you pick the wrong habit? Are you going to undo it? I was like, no. I was like, that's not going to happen, because most people have these subconscious habits anyways. So when I was 21, I was insanely lucky. Like a lot of my results, right? Obviously a lot of hard work and sweat, but also a lot of luck, a ton of luck that I can't even calculate. So like when I was 21, I met the founder of a little company called Costco. And he was the founder and CEO. And my mom, it was because of my mom, right? And that was lucky, right? It's not going to pick her or anything. And my mom's like, how can I help you? I'm like, introduce me to your boss. And she was just like a random, employee at Costco, but she works in the same building as the CEO and founder back then, Jim Sinegal. And interviewing him, I took a lot of notes on my journal and I ended up losing that journal. But my one favorite quote that I took away from him is he said, look, you guys are all going to do fine. They bashed me with like 2 other kids, because I guess all these kids are trying to get his, advice. And so he's like, look, you guys are all going to be successful. I was like, they will, not me. I need your advice. And he said, you just got to focus on your health, your family, and your business, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
And so instead of doing health, family, I actually kind of tweaked this thing. It's health, wealth, and relationships.
Okay.
So all my decisions and habits, I kind of build around these three aspects. Like, how is this going to help me build better health? What about wealth? And then what about my relationships, which really impact your health and your wealth, if you think
Right,
about
of course. That's an interesting trio. I like that tweak though, because like you said, relationships also so broad. I mean, that can be business relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, family.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that fits
They
really, really
control
well.
other too. Really like relationships could be your team relationships, your culture.
Exactly.
It could
Mm-hmm.
be, your personal relationships with your spouse, et cetera, or your family, right? So you can kind of tweak that one. But even then, right, like your family will impact whether you exercise or
Right.
how your business is doing based on their biases and background
Mm-hmm.
and, the way they were raised and all that. Like, yeah.
It all goes together. So it seems like you have a lot of habits and future plans and everything. What do you see for the next 3 to 5 years for Logic Inbound?
Oh, that's a great question. Next 3 to 5 years in Logic Inbound. Now I'm just really, there's a really great book called Rework by Jason Fried,
Mm-hmm.
who's a, really awesome entrepreneur. You guys should read that book if you haven't. But basically, he talks about how the farther, like nobody really knows what's going to happen in the future. So I'm just throwing a dart. But here's what I hope will happen in the next 3 to 5 years. I think that Logic Inbound, we're going to take more, less direct cash deals with clients and more cash/equity split deals, which
Okay.
is going to be really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. And then I'll probably be working on the next company
Gotcha.
with my cousin. So yeah.
Perfect. Seems like your cousin is your business partner in crime.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's like one of my closest friends, and yeah, we were really lucky. That's another thing, right? Like I was insanely lucky to have
Mm-hmm.
my this cousin who, like in middle school, he built his middle school's website, and he's very math driven.
Oh,
Berkeley
wow.
computer science
Mm-hmm.
graduate, right? Or not graduate. He actually dropped out. I convinced him to drop out to start with me, right?
Right.
But he went to Berkeley for computer science, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's like really opposite of me. Like I'm super extroverted, right? So
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
really
I see this. I
lucky.
see the difference already.
Yeah, no, yeah, he's not as big of a fan. He likes to go really deep, right? Whereas maybe I'm
Mhm.
more broad in relationships. Like he'll have maybe like 5 friends total. Type of
Okay.
thing.
But then
But
it
yeah,
works.
exactly. It definitely works for us.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's key in business. Is having complementary skill sets, of course.
Right.
That's a generic cliche right there, but hey, there you go.
Absolutely. No, I enjoyed it that you just talked about your personal life there too. And like you said, I mean, that's family. It works for business as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect. So for any of our listeners, where should they go to for more information about Logic Inbound or even just to connect with you and learn more about you?
Thank you for asking. For me, you can send me a direct email at vladgives@gmail.com. That's also my Instagram. That's also my Twitter handle. If anybody wants to connect with me there. And then if anyone wants to be bold and spell my last name, it's Vlad Mkrtumyan on LinkedIn. And then www.logicinbound.com is for our SEO company. And, I personally, obviously I'm biased because I love our model. I love our company. I built it. But we have, I should say we built it actually, not more than me, but we have all these different models. We have like a free book for SEO for anyone that can't even afford it, all the way to, we've had $100 million plus clients. Evan has, Fortune 500 clients in his, experience, and we have models for all of them. So if anyone wants to get more Google traffic, I'm happy to chat.
Perfect. Well, Vlad, thank you so much for joining us today and just bringing your energy and telling us so much about Logic Inbound. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Gabby.